Alright, so we're going to go ahead and draw a face. We're going to start with an egg shape, and an egg shape can be drawn freehand, or the other thing you can do is take something that's a circle and very lightly, and I'm using a charcoal pencil, very lightly draw the circle. So you can hardly see it here, but I just went over that, and then I'm just going to elongate it here towards the bottom, and that's where the chin is, because usually and always the face is wider around the eye area and thinner down towards the chin. So I'm doing that, and then think about halfway down, so that's about halfway down the face, and we can make very light line here. And then the eyes will go right on top, right above that. And you'll have a little bit less than an eye between each eye. So one, that's about a little bit less than an eye. So that's good. And they're sort of almond shape, but then right here, the tip, I bring it down a little bit. That's where the tear duct goes. And that's it. Then halfway down from here to here, that's about halfway, there will be a little macaroni shape. Halfway down from here to this line will be the middle of the mouth, and for that I'll just create, it can be any kind of shape, because really everybody's mouth is different right here, this little peak. Then I go back up to the eyes and I create the eyeballs. Now at this point my figure is going to look frightened because the eyeballs are rather large. I go ahead and put the pupils in right away. But then we're going to bring the eyelids down a little bit. And I can create and think about maybe even like a circle here, because there's a shadow here, there's a shadow there. If you look at your own eyes or somebody else that's near you, you can see that at either corner of your eye you have shadows. So I'll bring this eyelid down. You can bring it down as much as you want. She'll look a little bit more tired if you bring it down more, and obviously more surprised if you have it further up. And then I'll close this in a little bit, this in. Then I'll go for the eyebrows. So for the eyebrows, you can think, you don't want to go past this point right here. If you do it like that, she can end up looking angry. And you can make them as high as you want. You can look at people around you and see, you know, how everybody has different shape eyebrows, different length. But usually they're a little bit hairier towards the middle and a little bit less hairy towards the outside. So from here, what I do is, the way that I do my faces, I'll create like a little circle here, and then right here I create like a little M shape. So I'm going to bring the camera down just a little bit. So it's a little M, like a squashed M, or like a seagull shape right there. And from here, I'll bring this shadow down a little bit further more, down right to the nose here. And then from here, right down to the nose there. Okay, so this is all shadow. Then from here, your nostrils can change. They can be different. They can be narrower or they can be wider. That's really up to you. Then this area here that I call the Cupid's bow, I'll bring it down a little bit and create my lips. Now for your lips, you can do these two little circles, and they look like ice cream cones like that. And it's really up to you how wide you want this lip, and the same with the bottom lip. Usually the top lip will have a lot more shadow than the bottom lip. It's not always the case, but does happen. I think my mouth is a little crooked there. From about the inside of the eye down is where you will get the edge of your mouth. So from about here, maybe a little bit here, is where you'll get the edge of your mouth. Now all you need to do is move these little corners up or down to make your figure happy or sad. So I just moved it up a tiny bit, and maybe you can see how she smiled a little bit more. Then this will be a little bit of shadow. And then this, again, this will be all shadow. Now as I begin to move around it, I'm not going to keep with my outer perimeter. You can see that I have more room, more space from here to here than here to there. So then this is a time that I'll go ahead and fix it so that I want equal space. I can take from here and mark it, taking from the tip of my pencil to the edge of the face, pencil to face here, so this is more accurate to make it the same. This can be shadows in here, so I can work with all these shadows to make it be the cheekbones, shadows here, shadows under here, and then I can create a little chin there, and then go from here. And you can have a heart shape or an oval shape face, all up to you. From about the pupils down, it's about where we do the neck. You can have a wide neck, a thin neck, again, all up to you. And about, if you were to cut the face in the middle, which by the way, sometimes people like to use that as a guidepost, and that's a helpful one just so that you know that your nose is in the middle of the page. Mine looks like it was scooted over to one side a little bit. And then the lips too are in the middle. And then if you take the head from here to here and then there to there, you can think about there being an equal space. I like to do my neck sort of long. And then there's the shoulders. The ears, you have to be careful with the ears because they can look kind of funny if you do like ears with all the detail, because when we look at people we don't really see all the detail. But they're about from the eye to the bottom of the nose. And a lot of times the ears will be covered up by hair. Earrings can be kind of fun, and maybe that's all you need to show the ears. The hair shouldn't be like just on top of the head, because then it's going to look like it's a hat or a helmet. So you do want to bring it down, and you can figure out if you want bangs or a side swept thing. And so here, you're just kind of giving your face personality. And if it's a charcoal drawing like this one, from this point you begin with your fingers. You wouldn't want to use your fingers for pencil. At least I don't recommend it, because your fingers have oil. And the charcoal needs the oil to move around, but the pencil doesn't, and it can end up looking a little greasy and oily. So from here, I do all my shading, and then I'll go back in with the charcoal and add some areas of light and dark. So I'll use the charcoal and the kneaded eraser to do all this. It does take a little bit of time, but it does take a lot less time than just doing it with a regular pencil. So I really like working with charcoal because it's so fast and you can get all these wonderful values very quickly. When you're around the darker areas, you just push a little bit harder. If you want to, if your face gets too dark, you can pick it up with a kneaded eraser. Rachel, can you get me a kneaded eraser, please? You can add light with a kneaded eraser. Really, the kneaded eraser will be like a drawing implement. So for me, that neck is too narrow, so I'll widen it and I'll add some more shadows here. And I can widen her face too, maybe in the little blue box. Thank you. So I have a couple of helpers here with me today. A couple of students. Add these details to the eyes. So I'm going to make a bigger pupil and then these little sparks coming from there. And I'll go over these later with some color. Okay, thank you. Can you see if it's over there in with the lollipops? I think maybe someone put it in there, I think. So here I'm still adding shading, going back and forth. A little bit more shading here. Okay, so they can't find the kneaded eraser, so I'm going to go ahead and grab it. But you can see how it's coming together. Can you ladies see how it's coming together? Yes? And here's a kneaded eraser. And a kneaded eraser, you just pull it, and this is where you can use it as a drawing implement. Have you ladies used kneaded eraser before?
They're also called putty erasers.
Oh, Claudia, I'm not giving you a shirt to put with this because this is like a really nice shirt. Can I get that on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so here I'm picking up a little bit. I can define the nostril a little bit better, add a little bit of highlight to the Cupid's bow, add some highlights above the lips, some on the cheekbones, some on the chin. I can take the kneaded eraser and sort of knead it into itself to clean it up. And my finger has a lot of black, so I'm going to clean up my finger a little bit too. Go up here, remove more white in the eye. White right on top of the eyeball, because the eyeball sort of bulges out from our eye, from our face, I'm sorry, from the face. So we'll do a little bit of that. I think my eyes are different sizes. So I have to make it a little bit, make this one a little bigger. You want it to be a little darker right over the eyeball, right over the pupil, because there's a shadow that falls down from that. And then more light here. And you keep working with it. So we're going to start working with them here in the studio, and as I keep adding to this. So ladies, can you come back over here? Okay, so maybe it can help to our viewers too if you ask some questions about what I'm doing.
Quiet earlier.
Yeah, but now I'm pretty much done. So now if you could ask some questions. Do you have any questions?
Why is the sky blue? You said specific question.
How do you know like how deep you should shade a certain part?
Okay, that's a great question. So the parts that you're going to add more light to are the parts that stick further out of your face, right? So if you look around here,
My nose.
our nose, and then look at each other's, your cheeks. Look right here on your nose. Look at my drawing for a minute.
Ooh.
Okay, so usually right here, like if I'm looking at your noses, right here's a shadow, and then right here there's a shadow too. Look what I'm doing right here. See? There's a shadow here. So this, you go ahead and you put it in, kind of work with it a little bit, and then right underneath, like look at each other's noses right now. So you can see that right underneath that shadow, there's a little bit of light right at the tip of the nose. Do you see that? Right? And so there's light here, and then there's that shadow right there, and then there's light up here again, but that light sort of slowly goes in here. Okay, so looking at this girl right here that I'm drawing, well, like this part here needs to be a little rounder. What else do you see that you might have questions on for, you can just look at my paper. What else do you think you might have questions on to draw your own girl? So like right here, for example, do you see, if you look at each other's faces, do you see how there's a little bit of light right here over your lips? Look at each other.
How does
Do you
it
see that?
look so drawing-like?
So drawing-like? What do you mean so drawing-like?
Like, how does it look so much like a drawing?
Because it is a drawing?
No, I mean like with pencil, but like for the
This is charcoal.
Like, before you did it, how come it look like for the hair it looks kind of like a dark pencil?
Because it's a charcoal pencil, so charcoal pencil's a lot darker.
I told you, then you ignored me.
Yes. Oh, okay. So here's all this, Rachel. Where else do you see shadows on each other that maybe I'm not, maybe I need to do here? Does anybody see some shadows that maybe I need to do here that I didn't do?
Looks like a bit more right here.
What about on the face? That's okay. I'll call her later. What about right in the eye, on the eyeballs, right?
Right on the eyeballs.
So, do you think you girls are ready to do your own drawing?
Yeah, but Claudia, I thought we were working with canvas today.
You are going to start working on canvas. But we need to, whenever we do something on canvas, you need to practice, right? Okay, so the girls are working on their drawings, and I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this one. So after you have, you've developed this a little bit, and I did the shadow here. I'm going to work a little bit more with my nose, because I have this side a little bit smaller than that one. So a lot of this is like molding with clay, because you're doing a lot of pushing and pulling. And once you have figured out where everything goes, you begin to work a lot with your fingers and the kneaded eraser for pushing and pulling the values, and that's what's going to make it look more realistic. Now the kneaded eraser is not an eraser in the traditional sense, so you don't really use it to erase. And as a matter of fact, in charcoal, you don't erase a lot. It's mainly working very lightly with the charcoal and then moving it around with your fingers and the eraser. And the more that you work, you'll find yourself sometimes having to go back into areas, because maybe you put your hand down and you can see how you pick a lot up, so just be aware of that. I can go in here and add some highlights here. Move up her smile too, and just kind of keep going back and forth. And she does not need to be this dark. Like I said, you could go and begin to pick up a lot of the shadows here. I'm going to pick up a little bit from there too. The ears. A little bit more there. So you're actually basically drawing with your kneaded eraser. Here I'm just going to tap it like this to create a little bit of light over her brow area. Open up her face a little bit more here. Yes. That looks great. That looks good. Now it looks good. Now you need to do your middle line, and the eyes go, where do the eyes go, ladies?
In the middle.
They go right above the middle line. So not on the middle line, but right above it. So the bottom part of your eye is going to go right above that. And then how do you start your nose? Yeah, macaroni, very good. So here I'm just kind of softening this line, softening it, and then bring it down. You can, I'm going to turn my paper a little bit, just so I can go in here. With the outline. And once you're done with all this, then you're ready to really have fun with the hair and the background. This one is one of those charcoal pieces that have the string, so I've just taped it because someone pulled it all the way down. For this part, I can hold my charcoal sideways. and just kind of go in like this and do her hair any color. I'm going to give her sort of reddish hair here, and I'm going to melt her a little bit into the background. And so what I'm using here is chalk pastel. Red and this green. And with the black charcoal, just kind of bring back her hair. I think I'm actually going to use a wider charcoal piece. But the main thing, you know, is the face. So you can use this for a painting, you can use it for collage. So that's where it's at, and that's where I'm going to leave it at for now. And I'll keep working on her a little bit off camera. But I hope that you enjoyed that and that helps you a little bit with your own work.